You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash report.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. I'm Big Q in this building. Shout out to the fam. Hit that like button and the sub button and the share button, man. We up in this thing. PPR Flash report. 3 questions. I got 3 questions for you, man. Not 21, but 3 questions for you for the Pelicans heading into the next NBA season. Heading into the 25-26 season, what are the biggest questions that the Pelicans are facing? A lot of questions, family, but we're going to give you 3 in this episode of the show. So hit that like button and here we go. All right, let's delve right into it. All right, Pelicans weren't able to go as far when Anthony Davis is a star player, making it out of the first round just once, but losing in 5 games to the Warriors back in 2018, despite Davis being one of the best bigs of his generation. The Pelicans knew it was time to end their tenure with him, trading him to the Lakers. Now the Pelicans heading into the 25-26 season with some new and familiar faces and pressure to make the postseason after trading away the rights to the 2026 first-round pick to the Atlanta Hawks. However, New Orleans prepares for a defining season. There are some major questions with which their answers will be defined by the outcome of the upcoming year. Number 1, can the Pelicans star? Y'all answer these questions in the comment section as we roll in. Can the Pelicans star get and stay healthy? And of course, you see this is a tweet right here by the Pelicans lead. All will still be recovering from injuries coming into camp. And this is really nicely done. It talks about some of the players, Derek Queen, what he got going on, Murray with his issues. And of course, you see right shoulder of both Trey and Herb. Now, we'll get an update on these players. A lot of these players we anticipate and the Pelicans should have access to and should be ready to go early on in the year. We know DeJounte Murray is going to be a later on addition. So health by far and away is the most prevalent issue on the team. There are definitely ways to prevent injuries, but at the same time, there are certain ones that just can't be prevented. Last year, Zion, DeJounte Murray played 30 and 31 games respectively, with Herb Jones playing just 20 games. And healthy, Williamson and Murray are both all-star caliber players, and Jones is one of the best defenders in the NBA. With a deep team and a long season ahead, Willie Green will need to be strategic about how and when he plays his stars to keep them healthy this season. So this is indeed the truth as we talk about the health of the team. Can the Pelicans star get and stay healthy? Can the Pelicans star that's directed at Zion Williamson? And that's just, and like we're saying, it's not just Zion that the Pelicans are dealing with. It's not just Zion, even though he missed a lot of games during out his career with the Pelicans, but other people have missed significant time too. They're showing you Herb, they're showing you Trey, showing you DeJounte Murray, he got hurt. And there's others. Jose Alvarado is dealing with an issue, and he was kind of in it. He had some injury issues too over the past couple of years. He got hurt in the FIBA game recently with some type of tailbone situation. He had to be carted off. Hope it's all right. We haven't gotten any word on that, but we'll notify you as soon as we get word. So there are other Pelican players. Derek Queen just recently had a little issue. So we'll get to the bottom of this health situation moving forward, because the players and it's also the thinking of, can the Pelicans improve the health staff, the doctors, better dietitians, nutritionists, whatever you got, trainers, whatever. Can we get better there is a question that us at PPR is asked for years. We went right to the meat of the matter and talked about, can we get better at the health staff level? And maybe that can help translate to something different in terms of these players, right? Next, we go to the next question. Can Jordan Poole play winning basketball, right? Can he play winning basketball? The answer is yes, he can. He looked pretty good in Washington last year's Washington squad, but a lot of people seeing Jordan Poole, look at what this guy said, Golden State Warrior Jordan Poole was so underrated. He was big during his time there, but can he do it here? The Pelicans' most polarizing offseason move was acquiring Jordan Poole, the ex-Washington Wizard guard who was a major part of the Golden State Warriors' 2022 NBA Finals victory over the Boston Celtics. However, it's been a few seasons since that, as playing in Washington hasn't had Poole's playing, quote, winning basketball, end quote. That's true. Washington hadn't won in a while. There's no doubt that he's a talented offensive player. The question remains whether he can bring more than scoring to the New Orleans team, especially if Murray or even Jeremiah Fears misses time. Poole could be inserted into the primary initiator role. If Poole is able to set his teammates up while scoring efficiently for the Pelicans, he can start to switch the narrative of himself as a player. So you can see that's the big deal. Adding a player like Jordan Poole, who's a 20-point scorer, along with Trey, who put up 20, the defensive Herb, and we'll get into the breakdown of the rotation. You also have young, talented players like Jeremiah Fears. And this is the thing. We talked about the team being deep and having personnel, right? They drafted Jeremiah Fears, the young point guard. They also drafted Derek Queen, the big. So this is a guy. These guys are very versatile players. They're very electric, and having Jeremiah Fears here does help. Depending on what happened with Jose Alvarado, Fears was definitely going to get time anyway. Maybe Jose's minutes was going to dip. We'll see how it all looks. And of course, you have guys like DeJounte Murray. Where does he fit in here when he gets back? It just makes a lot of sense that the Pelicans, put together pretty correctly, or coached up pretty correctly, could have an impact. They got a lot of talent. It's all about getting it to work together. So who's not cracking the rotation? This is the Pels depth chart according to the tweet. Point guard, Poole, Jeremiah Fears, Jose Alvarado. Shooting guard, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins. Small forward, Herb Jones, Sadiq Bey. Zion Williamson at the power forward, him and Carlo Mekovic. The center is Yves Missi, Derek Queen, and Kayvon Looney as the third center. I don't think Kayvon is going to be no third string center. I actually think Kayvon Looney is going to get a lot of minutes for the Pelicans, especially in some of these smaller rotations. But anyway, fantastic guard room, especially with Murray coming back super thin in the front court. Though it depends on what you're looking for, right? The front court, because you have guys that can do different things. Trey can actually be a wing. You can move Herb to 2 if you need him. You see what I'm saying? If you, it's just different things that you can do with the versatility of these players. Not to mention, Herb's not just a defensive player. Herb can knock down a 3-point ball for you. He was doing that well when he was healthy, and he'll go back to that, improving his shot, because Herb Jones is going to get a lot of wide open 3-point shots. If he can knock a good percentage of them down, that can keep people honest, man. He can make a lot of buckets and kind of improve his scoring average if he can hit those threes. Jordan Poole, in my opinion, is lightning in the box. I think the guy will be terrific with Zion because of Zion's gravity. Also realize this is that Zion should be a guy that the Pelicans use in the Zion Williamson role, like him being a ball handler, bringing the ball up more consistently, building an offense. Zion handles the ball. He showed a couple of times last year he was able to penetrate the triple-double box and look good doing it. Got a good eye, score when he needs to, but get other guys buckets. And when Zion Williamson has it in his mind, he can, turn it on and go and get buckets, work on his foul shots, getting to the foul line, hitting his shots, and doing a better job of that. He needs to continue to develop and be that role where he is the facilitator. He has to get better at the mid-range shot, and it'll be really neat to see if Zion can add a 3-point ball. And he don't shoot it often, but having that mid-range shot will really help in making the game a lot easier for him, and he needs to just stay healthy to develop the rest of that. So you can see the rest of the guys right here with Fears and Hawk, Sadiq Bey, Mekovic, and of course you see Queen there. Kayvon Looney's not there. I think Kayvon should be in the bottom 5 of anything. I mean, you can move Kayvon Looney as a champion, a multi-champion, and he's not what he was in Golden State, but he still can give you good value, even if Yves and Queen or first-round draft pick bigs. We can still use Kayvon Looney experience in the starting 5 if you have a smaller rotation, and we got 7-footers we can run at you. We got a 7-footer there. So it's a very interesting mix of how the Pelicans going to be able to get to use these guys. So even though the Pelicans were one of the worst teams in the NBA last season, they head into the 25-26 season with plenty of players who deserve minutes on this roster. Assuming everyone is healthy, there are some guarantees of players that will see minutes, but what about those on the cusp? Jose, who just might be taken out of this equation because of the injury he had in the FIBA Cup. Jordan Hawkins, Sadiq Bey are 3 players who could be ones fighting for minutes in a rotation, assuming Willie Green doesn't run a rotation with more than 10 players, and he should have a rotation with at least 10, right? Alvarado has a case to due to his defensive abilities, while Hawkins and Bey bring value as shooters. So Bey is coming back from that ACL injury. He was hurt out all last year. You can see him, he was putting up shots and stuff like that and doing this thing. He looked like he's back in effect. This guy is a good player, man. He averaged 15 points a game the year before last, and Bey could play. He gets defense. He can shoot the three, and like I said, this ain't no bull crap type player. And and let me ask y'all this: what do y'all think about Sadiq Bey? Is his game? His game to me, does his game remind you of Najee Marshall a little bit, like maybe a supreme version of Najee, a more complete, smoother, super clean version of Najee Marshall? What are your Sadiq Bey comparisons? Because the guy can play, man. He can really do inside, outside game, smart player defensively. He's going to be a help for the Pelicans, to be honest with you. So picking today, Bey is probably out of the rotation at the moment. I disagree, given the missed time for last year. But as for Hawkins, his case for the rotation will be determined how efficient he is shooting the ball. Yeah, he's a three-point shooter, especially after percentages dropped to 33.1%. Another thing to kind of talk about with Jordan Hawkins is the fact that Hawkins has to get bigger, man. We talked about that before. It's how easily he's pushed off on the floor. How guys musk him up and stuff, because he can go to the foul line. He's situated his feet. He can shoot the three-pointer as a spot-up shooter, but doesn't handle the ball well. He tried to get him to handle the ball well and distribute 2 summers ago. Y'all remember that? Didn't look too good. But he still looks like he's the same size he was when he came out of college. He still looks like a frail college kid. Even though he has the side, he has not really picked up the muscle to play this game. So he's coming into his 3rd year. Can Jordan Hawkins' game get stronger? You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at him to be the Incredible Hulk, but he still has to be able to pick up some level of strength there to compete effectively and not have guys just move you all around, and make you a little man, But anyway, this is what we got right here on this article, man. 3 questions for the Pelicans. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section and let me know your answers to these 3 questions, your thoughts on the Pelicans heading into this season. That's all I got for y'all on this one. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. PPR representing the Flocking Nation. Stand up. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love. Peace.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans Pelicans.